Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rifter number 13. And in our fourth segment, we're going to talk about Dark Techno-Wizardry. This is Techno-Wizardry that's actually can make the Splugorth nervous. Well, okay, that's a bit of a stretch. Make the Splugorth angry because it's way too close to their patented bio-wizardry and rune magic for their comfort. But to find out why, let's go ahead and take a look.
All right. Before you start, I got to do the announcement. 26th of January, just to remind folks, again, people who are watching the live stream are probably really bored of me saying this, but this is its own video now. 26th of January, Kevin Simbita will be here. We're going to talk about damage and lingering effects, STC, MDC armor, yada, yada, all types of things to do with health and recovery in the Palladium Megaverse. So if that's something that interests you, come on by. We'll probably also talk about some happenings at Palladium Books because there's a lot going on right now. We'll see if we can squeeze something out of him since he doesn't have Sean to rein him in. But yeah, look forward to that on the 26th of January. Either come watch that live or check our video collection out if this is after 26th of January and go watch that interview.
You know, Max, you are really close to sounding like elder abuse.
Why?
You know, squeeze some stuff out of him because he doesn't have a younger guy to like. Hey, he could have an Alzheimer's moment, and then I win.
Well, how many times does he start saying something? Or Sean's like, hey,
shut your hole, shut your hole, shut your hole, man. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. All right. The war against Tolkien has unleashed dark magics upon the world. The desperation found only in war has historically led to many scientific and military advancements. That's true. The atomic bomb is an example. The necrotech and techno shifter, gross.
Those sound awesome.
Wait for it. Okay. Are two others. Both of these OCCs combine the arts and the relatively benign techno-wizard with a darker mystical pursuit. Okay. Necrotech. OCC. New OCC.
I'm in. I don't even care what this is. I want it. I
know you want it. You want it in your pocket right now. Necromantic techno-wizardry has its roots in the past collaborations between necromancers and techno-wizards. Such collaborations produce such horrors as the feared murder wraith, the undead juicer. That sucked. The practice of necromantic techno-wizardry is fundamentally the same as regular techno-wizardry, except you're powering, instead of with, crystals and stuff, you're powering with parts of dead folk. Basically it. Many of the creations of the standard techno-wizard can also be manufactured by the necrotech. For example, a wing board, the little board that flies on ley lines. Well, you can use the dead gargoyle wings. Hook them together the right way, bickety bam, you got a wing board. Same thing, except it's gross. So, what are their powers? The necrotech has the following psionic powers: mind block, speed reading, total recall, telemechanics. Awesome. I love it. Number 2, ISP. You have a little ISP. You're considered a minor psychic, so you get minor psychic levels of ISP and minor psychic saves. Initial spell knowledge. The necrotech has a solid understanding of the principles of magic. You can draw upon ley lines and blood sacrifices and magic batteries, just like a ley line walker and whatever. Like other techno-wizards, you have limited spellcasting ability. All of your spells are half range, damage, duration, whatever, and a lot of them cost double P.P.E. unless they're focused through a necrotech wizard device. Okay, just like a techno-wizard, great. Learning new spells, same way. You get a scroll, you can learn it, all good. And you have 2d4 times 10 P.P.E., which is, normal. That's fine. Nothing big, but you also have a horror factor. The necrotech engages in activities most foul without hesitation. As such, these mages radiate a horror factor. At first level, it's 6. You get an extra 1 at 4, 10, 12, and 15.
I mean, not too bad, but makes sense. It's thematic.
Yeah. And you get skills along the lines of a regular techno-wizard. Lots of technological skills, but also some magical skills. But you get to roll on insanity. Like their necromancer brethren, you get auto insanities. Well, auto chance for insanity. Not as bad as them, but still. You roll once on the following table at levels 5 and level 10. 1 through 45, nothing. Obsession, phobia, phobia, and random could be anything.
Look, these aren't insanities. It's just people misunderstanding us.
Okay. Necrotech devices. This is where the necromancer shines. This is why the necrotech OCC shines, because they were born in wartime. The very first thing is wartime utility. And for wizards and psychics that are fighting technological means, you can have your arm or leg blown off. You are now a fraction of your overall combat effectiveness, because you cannot get a bionic limb to make you physically effective anymore, because that would cancel all of your magic and sonic abilities. But fear not, folk. You can get a dead limb attached to you and be fine. Now, what do you get? A hand, an arm, and a leg. Those are the ones here. Now, you can choose a regular hand, regular leg. It has normal your strength bonus. It has normal P.P.E. It has normal hit points or SDC, whatever, or MDC. Actually, all these have MDC. Or you can get a supernatural variant. It will cost you a permanent P.P.E. For the hand, 5. For the arm, 10. And for the leg, it is 10.
That's kind of a lot for a techno-wizard, isn't it?
No, it's just 10. It's just 10. Whole new limb that lasts forever.
Oh. For some reason, I thought techno-wizards got a lot less PPE.
No, they get 2d4 times 10 total. So they got enough to play with. But if you want the supernatural powered version, you spend 5 more. You basically, you spend 5 more. Instead of 5, it's 10. Instead of 10, it's 15. Permanent PPE loss. But now your arm, leg, hand, whatever, is a supernatural strength of 24 or 30. I want an arm that has a supernatural strength of 30. That would be great. I would love that. It'll just cost you 15 permanent PPE.
Does it have to look like something else? Like it looks like it came from a DB or something?
What it was built out of.
Okay.
And in war, you get what you get.
Oh, that's fine. No, I think that's awesome. Like, yeah, I'm for that thematic stuff where it's like, look, if it looks like a normal human arm, have it act like a normal human arm. But if it looks like it was taken from some beast or DB or whatever, and again, using a Rick and Morty reference again, when he was that one arm fighting stuff, whatever, when in the arena and so forth. Yep. I'm in for that. Well, I mean, it looks like it's unnatural, and there you go, horror factor, baby.
Yeah, there it is. And you want shock troops. You want really durable shock troops. Well, you don't want to waste spellcasters and psionics. They're not a dime a dozen, right? Well, what if, hear me out, what if you could take a whole bunch of dead folk and animals, sew them together, and create a mega damage monstrosity they can put on the front line and say kill, and they'll go kill? What if you could do that? Those are called techno horrors, and we can do that. We do that. You take the leftover part. You take the leftover parts on a battlefield, sew them together. Lo and behold, bickety bam, Bob's your uncle. You have a new fighting force. Now, how effective is this fighting force? Let's find out. And this is a normal size. There's more normal and giant size, right? And depending on your level of the necrotech, depending on his level, you can have multiple limbs, multiple heads, wings, multiple legs, all that stuff. Higher level, more limbs you can get, right? But let's just say normal stuff. IQ of 8, not too smart, but not really stupid, especially for a grunt. That's what they're for, right? They're grunts. They're frontline killing machines. You don't need an IQ of 8. You don't need to think. You just need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Physical strength of 24, which is supernatural. Physical prowess of 20. Physical endurance is effectively unlimited. They always save versus, they never have to save versus disease, versus anything that affects living things because they're not alive. And they never tire. Ever. Giant size horrors receive additional bonus of plus 10 strength, plus 2 physical prowess, plus 10 speed. And more legs equals more fast, wings equals flying. Punch and kick damage depends on the supernatural physical strength, which is 24 or 34, depending on your variant. But if you made it have claws, it does an additional 2d6 mega damage more. The mega damage for the human size horrors is 2d6 times 10. So up to 120. On average, you're looking at, you're looking at 70 mega damage as a frontline disposable troop. Yeah.
I mean, not a lot overall, but very good for something that you're just throwing out there.
Exactly. and you're not sacrificing anybody to do it. Plus 10 per level of the necrotech. So if you have a 10th level necrotech doing this, it's 70 plus 100, 170. That's great. That is now a very effective frontline soldier. Bullet sponge right there. And giants get 46 times 10 plus 15 per level. And they regenerate 1d4 times 10 per hour. Now, in combat, that means nothing. But at the end of a fight, if you won, all of your surviving horror constructs go along the battlefield, picking up spare parts, jamming in their body. That's what they use to regenerate. It requires more mass.
Not everybody fights to the death, right? So let's say you were fighting another group. It doesn't matter what it is, coalition or just some other mercenary group, whatever. And they retreated. They got to go lick their wounds and heal normally.
Yeah.
You can now send these guys after them, even if they're a little injured still, and they're healing along the way. They keep that pressure on the enemy.
Yes. Yeah. It makes a retreating action force the retreaters to take their dead with them immediately, because leaving them on the battlefield is just fuel for the enemy. And of course, they have a horror factor of 14 regular, 16 giant. Attacks per melee are equal to the combined number of arms, heads, and tails that the creature has. That means if you can put more arms on it, more heads on it, more tails on it, it gets more actions. More equals more, right? There you go. They're impervious to fear, drugs, poisons, or any magic or psionics that affect living things because they're not alive. They only have climb and swim as skills, and that's it. The rest of it is just...
it keeps them moving, so that there's...
Yeah. The rest of it's Hulk smash. They can be held at bay by a banish spell or a circle of protection. Sounds fair. Silver and fire inflict mega damage. Mega damage fire, or magical fire, does double damage. The cost, 400 P.P.E. for a regular, 600 for giant. Physical requirement, many corpses. Cables, wires, a brain from a sentient creature, and whatever else needs to be added, such as jet engines, wings, whatever. Yeah, you can add all kind of crap to it. Takes 2d4 days to make one. Cost is 500,000. 1.5 million for a giant. That's like that's if you had to build it from a non-battlefield. Like if you have a battlefield, well, there's your answer. All of your parts are strewn along the battlefield. You just need 2d4 days. Right? So there you go. So that is the Necrotech OCC. And I understand and anyone can understand how this OCC was born out of combat. That's what they're for. The Techno Shifter. This one is the Shifter, only worse. And you know how I love the Shifter. I don't. This is worse. Let's check it out. The Techno Shifter is the newest branch of Techno-Wizardry to develop in North America. They were originally simply techno-wizards who studied summoning magic. The coming of war between Tolkien and the Coalition states and the rediscovery of a long-lost spell were the genesis of this new discipline. Well, what is this long-lost spell? That's the most important thing to look at right now. Where is it? Summoning magic. Yeah, we know about summoning magic. Everyone knows about summoning magic. You can shut your hole. Summoning devices. This is it. Yeah, summoning devices. This is it. The summoning device. These are descriptions of summoning device platforms that are available to... Now, the Techno Shifter creates a platform, right? This is his summoning circle, and he gets inside. He is protected from the things he summons. Great. Right now, you're just a summoner. That's what a summoner does. And you go into a test of wills with the summoned creature. If you win, he has to do your bidding. Or it has to do your bidding. But this one spell is ensorcel or ensnare or ensorcel entity. Oh crap, did I lose it? What is it?
Well, you're looking that up. One of the things that kind of surprises me about this, I already know you don't like the shifter, and I get that. But you would think that a techno-wizard shifter would make more sense, or would be kind of better at the job in some regard with the technology behind them, like Stargate portals or whatever.
All right, I can't find the actual spell, but it doesn't matter. This is what the spell does. You summon a creature of energy, say an elemental, right? For example, an elemental. You can take that elemental, put it into a machine, and it will power that machine forever. A normal Techno-Wizard device has to be refilled by either PPE or ISP. Right? It has to be recharged. This is charged indefinitely by the energy being you have trapped inside the device.
Sweet.
So anyone can use it. And it has unlimited ammo or unlimited charges.
Can it escape?
Yes. You break the machine, it gets free. Think about that. They have in this book the stupidity of creating ensorcelled armor. What's the first thing to break in a fight? Your frickin' armor. The entity you put in there to make the armor cool is now pissed at you. Not only is your armor broken, but now you have one more enemy to deal with today. And these guys cannot cast spells. Unlike regular techno-wizards and unlike necro-techno-wizards, they learn spells, but they cannot cast them. They cannot cast a spell for any reason whatsoever. The only thing they can use those spells for is for creating the devices to shove spirits into. That's it. That's all they can do. But they're creating perpetual machines. These things will work forever. Ever and ever. Only until broken. So what are the kinds of things that they can actually use? Okay, let's look. Let's find out. Summoning devices. Here we go. Techno shifter devices. Now, the first thing to know about techno shifter devices is they can break. When they take damage, there's a chance that the entity inside can escape. If it's completely drained to zero, MDC, SDC, whatever, it's 100% chance the entity escapes. But for every fraction thereof, there is a chance that the entity gets to roll one time per threshold to try and get out. 0%, 10, 25, 50, 90, and 100. So, be wary. Make your stuff really tough. Entity-powered devices. These are devices that you didn't take an elemental. You grabbed a ghost of some kind, ensorcelled it, and shoved it in a device. This one, the spell Immure Entity is what you used.
Okay.
To take the entity and plop it in device. Ghost armor. You took a tectonic spirit and put it in armor. What does that do? It makes the armor autonomous. It's an animated armor that acts independently of the wearer under your orders. It's ghost armor. It's if you watch Full Metal Alchemist, it's the little brother in the suit where his soul is just attached. There's no body inside. That's it. It's exactly what it is. Or you could wear it, right? And you get knocked out or you get incapacitated by a spell or psionic effect, and then the armor will run away for you. You can do that. You can tell the armor, say, if I lose consciousness or I'm unable to act, run me away. And it will. What else we got? We got possessing entity, ghost armor. The armor's only purpose is to dominate its wearer. If you put this on, the ghost that it's attached to the armor will try and dominate you.
That sounds like a fail, not a...
This type of armor gives no bonuses. After the victim dons the armor, the entity will begin attempting to gain control. After gaining control, it proceeds to do whatever mission its true owner has ordered.
And it's a great cursed item to put like in a D&D game. Have just suits of armor there, put it on.
And it takes over your mind. And now you work for the bad guy. False rune weapons. These techno-shifter entity-powered weapons have an immured siphon entity. Now, if you want all these different entities, you can look at Palladium Fantasy or the Conversion Book 2, I think. The Dark Conversions has these entities listed, and a couple other books in the Palladium Megaverse have these entities listed. They are not indestructible or as powerful as even the weakest rune weapons. They usually take the form of swords or staves, but whatever ancient melee weapon is fine. Mega damage equivalent to an SDC weapon. So you shove a siphon entity into a regular sword. The sword now does whatever damage it did in SDC. Now it does it in MDC. MDC of the weapon depends on the weapon. If it was an SDC weapon, guess what? It's still an SDC weapon. So I recommend you make these weapons out of MDC material. I recommend. Powers: unlimited telepathy with the device and its owner. Empathy, empathic transmission, mind block, presence sense, see aura, see the invisible, sixth sense, levitation, biomanipulation, hypnotic suggestion, all equal to a 6th level psychic. So those are the powers that you get as the owner of this weapon. Great. Rift entity devices. What? A rift entity is an incredibly powerful, utterly alien being first described in the Rift Index 1. Its motives and thought processes are utterly alien and unknowable. No one, including the Techno-Shifter, knows the Rift entity's origin. It was entirely by accident that Techno-Shifters discovered that they could summon these creatures and use them as components. Strangely, the beings
That
do
does
not
not
seem to
sound
mind
good at all.
imprisonment, as it may give them temporary release from their maddening existence. But if freed, they go on a destructive rampage would last 46 minutes before they must leave the dimension.
That sounds like summoning an old one.
Yeah, except it doesn't mind being trapped. It minds being released, which is weird. It's like opposite day. All right, leyline energy rifle. It basically is a rifle that shoots leyline blasts. Now, if you look in the Rift's Ultimate book, or any Rift's source book that has ley lines in it described, a leyline storm fires blue-white lightning bolts from the storm, and it has different effect depending on if you're a magic using creature or / magic creature or normal mundane. A normal mundane, it'll shock you, it'll dizzy you up a little bit, but that's about it. If you're a magical, supernatural, or magic using creature, it's going to jack you up. It's going to drain you of your P.P.E. It's going to stun you. It's going to make you lose so many attacks per round. It's going to make you lose initiative. And it stacks. You keep shooting, it keeps happening. Soon you'll just be drooling on the floor because you've got no actions left. You just, and that's it. And then they stab you to death. Rift generator. Yeah, I'm just going to flip a switch and turn on a rift. You can. Bulky immobile device that the Techno-Shifter can use to safely traverse the multiverse. You turn this on, poof, you open up a rift to any plane that you've been in before with 100% accuracy. It's turning rifts on and off. But this one costs. It costs 100 P.P.E. to open a rift. That's nothing. That is nothing. Shifters, it costs 200. Regular folk, it costs minimum 5. For you, 100. Elemental devices. These are devices that are powered by either minor or major elementals. Fire, earth, water, air, whatever. And these ones are elemental air rifle. It throws lightning bolts. Elemental mystic generator. You get a minor or major fire elemental. You pop in this generator. You have unlimited power. Unlimited power. Unlimited electricity. That's it. Forever. Forever. It's a perpetual energy machine. From now until the end of the universe. Because it's not hurting the elemental inside. It's just harnessing the energy it gives off anyway. And elementals don't need to eat. They don't need to breathe. They don't need to sleep. They don't care. Well, they care, but it's not going to hurt them. They're going to live forever. As long as this thing doesn't break, you have power. And depending on the size of the elemental, is it depending on the power output. So a small or a medium generator will power a normal American household, which usually uses anywhere between 1 and 2 kilowatts per hour forever. A large generator would power a small town, but that would cost 200 P.P.E. and you would have to summon a major fire elemental for that, which has dangers in itself. Remember, summoning is not foolproof. Summoning is a lot of random rolls. And if you don't And if you come up, snake eyes instead of boxcars on this one, the elemental's going to have some words with you. And you're not going to like them. You're not going to understand them. You're also not going to like them. Earth Elemental Rifle. It creates a sandstorm that erupts from the muzzle like a flamethrower. Victims caught in the blast will find their vision impaired to about 5 feet, and the stinging hurts unprotected eyes and flesh. Victims lose initiative and 2 melee attacks. Blah, blah, blah. It's basically a status effect buff, debuff. Flamethrower, great. Fire Blaster, also great. Lava Cannon, that's cinematic. I shoot lava. Okay. Water Elemental Rifle, Ice Pistol. And that's it. That's what a techno shifter does. Now, do I like it? No. It's not just because of the word shifter. It's just because I don't like, part of why I don't like the shifter is because they have the ability to summon things, and as same as the Palladium Fantasy Summoner. But there is a 100% certainty that at some point that summon thing is going to get out of control. And there's a 50% chance he's going to come after you, being real angry. The Techno Shifter, there is a chance that any of these things will break. And the moment they break, there is a 100% chance that the entity inside is going to come after the user. It said so. 100% chance.
Well, that's why I give it to somebody else. It won't be coming after me.
But the thing is, you're making weapons and armor. You're literally putting them in danger all the time. That's their job. To be in danger of damage. Why would you do something that if it is damaged, it could kill you? Putting it in a place where all damage is everywhere. It's stupid. It's really stupid. It's just dumb. It's not smart. Any player character who wants to play a shifter or a techno shifter, I want them to go on a psychological eval. Because they're a little bit crazy. But anyway, that is the Dark Techno-Wizardry.
What was the first one called again? The Necro one?
Necrotech, yes.
Necro-Technomancer or just Necrotech?
It's just Necrotech.
Okay. If you play a shifter, if you like this, if you disagree with Heathen Dog on that one, go ahead and put it in the comments there. I know there are some folks who disagree with them. We're supposed to at some time in the future actually have a discussion with Kevin and Sean about the merits and problems with the shifter. It hasn't come to fruition yet. We hope to do that maybe sometime this year. Be great to talk to them about that because I like this shifter conceptually. I hear what Heathen Dog has to say about the shifter, you know, the necromancer, witch, the summoner, and so forth. In terms of, let's put it this way, I agree with him if the percentage is 100%. And that's the crux of the issue that gets me. Outside of that, if there's just a chance, even if it's 50-50, I think stuff like that can be fun.
Hey, you know what? You rolls the dice, you takes your chances. But the thing is, if a summoner's summon breaks, guess who else is around? The rest of the party. So you're screwing, you're not only making a coin flip of your life, you're making a coin flip of everyone around you. That's a dick move.
Yeah, but the power you get from that, and you know, again, it's a roll, and we'll decide that at that time. You know, if it can happen, you know, your vehicle can shut down. You can have.
But it won't spontaneously try and blow you up.
Depends on where it's shot, I suppose. I mean, there's always risk reward. As long as the risk reward is there, I'm okay with it. My issue is the 100% side of it. But yeah, go ahead and leave a comment in there if you have different thoughts on that, or if you agree with them completely. Like, yeah, this was dumb. But let's get some of these
comments.
Yep. So Fat Earther says, you guys are responsible for my growing Palladium Books collection. Thanks.
Yeah, all right. Good job. Yeah, I mean, Palladium is my favorite system because of its diversity and the rules. For the most part, 90% can cover anything from modern to fantasy to sci-fi to high magic, high technology. You can do it all with the same basic rule set. I love it.
I'm definitely a fan of Palladium as well. I don't use it as much modern, but I'm also stuck on a couple of games of theirs that are no longer in print. So, I played it a lot of Robotech, and I ran and played TMNT / After the Bomb. Okay, After the Bomb's still in print. You get that. But, yeah, all their systems. I like all the systems. Or, Rifts is growing on me. That's the thing, though, is Rifts is the most popular one. It's the one I have the least interest in.
All right, what else we got?
Crafting Gamer says, at this point, I think Palladium is about 50% body horror.
Yeah, well, bear in mind, the Rifters are not canon, all right? So bear that in mind. All of the published stuff, there are a few books, maybe a half dozen out of the 40 plus more books out there that deal with like really gross horror crap. But the rest of it, it's normal horror crap. Depending on what system you're in. So yeah, and plus you as a game master, you can pick and choose what books exist in your universe. So there you go.
Dwarfs said, I just started playing a BX game, playing a halfling. Either he's 3 hours behind on the stream.
Yeah.
So Dirty Dwarf,
behind, yeah.
When you get to this part, if it doesn't become members only before you're done watching, hey, but I think you might be 3 hours behind us right now.
You can rewind a live stream. Doesn't mean you should.
The way I set it up, it tells me you can't do that because I put it up for to have chat come in quicker, but I don't know. I'm not YouTube. I don't care.
For 3 hours.
So Devious Dave Rose says, I actually like the shifter class.
Well, then you hate your party. And no one should like you. That's my story. Sticking to it.
It's okay, Dave. I'm with you on that.
I like you as a person, Dave. I don't know you, but I default liking people even if I don't know them. But as a player, I don't like you.
Regan Wright says these guys are a poor man attempt to create rune weapons by defying the normal rules.
Yes, and that's why I said earlier the Splugorth don't like this stuff, because it's one step closer to their monopoly. They have a monopoly on bio-wizardry and rune weapons. Anyone else who has knowledge of that, they actively hunt and destroy, which means that once Splinkrith finds out that necro-wizardry actually exists, they're going to go and eliminate all necrotech OCC from the planet. That's what they're going to do. So have that in your campaign too.
Sounds like fun.
Splugorth hate you.
Yeah, we hate Splugorth too.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Agile Monk says, so my original first edition Palladium RPG, and Kevin has always been an awesome guy.
I do also have the black and red first edition Palladium RPG too, and I agree, Kevin is an awesome guy.
I finally got it somewhere. Oh, there it is. I got the 30th anniversary version or whatever. I finally picked it up. But the reason I put that one up there also is because I want to remind folks that next week on the 26th of January, where are all my little options here on the 26th of January, Kevin's going to be here to talk about, maybe we'll talk about body horror. I don't know. Probably not. But it'd be about health and damage and MDC and SDC and armor and lingering effects and permanent damage and healing and recovery and convalescence and so on and so forth like that in your various Palladium games. So if that's something that interests you, please check that on the 26th of January. We'll be live at 1 p.m. Central Time. And if not, or if you can't catch it live, or if you're watching this video after the fact, you should be able to find the video in our plethora of videos that we have here on YouTube. So thank you very much.